Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we're back again with another round 4 match fight for top 8. So this is MCOC Battlegrounds Open Tournament sponsored by Evizone. In grand total we have $2,000 prize fund, and these are the players still going at it. We have a full match in between Beroman and Remus. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with Beroman because he does have his own YouTube channel as well. But do not underestimate Remus, because every single player who is in the tournament at this stage deserves to be there. So here we can see that Beroman is at the top left-hand side corner. Remus is at the bottom right-hand side corner. Both of them are just finishing off their drafts. Beroman selected Immortal Abomination as his last pick right there. And now they have to set up their very first defender. So this is best out of 5 match. So basically the first player who wins 3 matches advances. So we can see that Remus is going to start with Wong on the defense as his first defender. It's quite interesting that we have been seeing some Wongs recently. Definitely a champion that is not so widely utilized in Battlegrounds, in my opinion. And then we have Nick Fury being placed by Beroman. Remus is going to go ahead and, by the looks of it, use Hitmonkey in order to deal with Nick Fury. Obviously, Hitmonkey, no, he does not go with Hitmonkey. He changes in the last minute to Rintra. It's quite interesting. And Beroman picks up Dr. Doom. Now, Dr. Doom is obviously extremely powerful Battleground champion offensively and defensively. However, he's not necessarily the fastest one. However, again, obviously Nick Fury has the double life. So here, if I would have to go with the betting odds, or if I would have to issue the betting odds, I would probably put them in the favor of Beroman, because he only has the 1 health bar to deal with. However, he does get clapped a bit at the start. That is very, very unfortunate beginning of the match right there. And obviously using Rintra offensively is also fairly straightforward. You just basically want to put opponent in the corner, spam your lights as much as possible, and then just go in and drop like a massive level 2. If it crits, virtually everything dies. If it doesn't crit, then you might need another level 2, but even non-crits do a lot of damage. And there, Remus definitely did get somewhat lucky, and he did manage to get that crit. Here we can see that Bero has gotten to his own level 3 there in order to deal with Wong, so he's gonna try and put Wong in the Doom cycle, which might be a mistake here, because he does have to land a heavy attack in order not to take damage. Thankfully, Beroman does observe that, and he drops his level 2, which is obviously dealing a ton of damage to that Wong, and the Wong's absolutely melting. But quite surprisingly here, that Rintra fight is already over with 91% HP remaining. Rintra does Nick Fury in 62 seconds. So that is a bit of a surprise outcome here. I would have to say that it is largely due to the fact that Rintra did in fact crit on his initial level 2, which basically immediately destroyed Nick Fury's first life. So the first match goes to Remus. Let's see how Bero is going to respond. So Bero is first to place in round 2. Let's see who he's going to go with for the defense. He does have Mephisto, he has Rintra, and other potential options. He ends up placing Rintra. Always, even if you have a good counter for Rintra, that massive top 3 health pool is something to be reckoned with. And Remus is placing Mephisto on his defense. Let's see who is Bero going to use in order to answer that Mephisto. He has Ghost, he has Sunspot. Both are viable, usable options there. He opts to go with Ghost, something that I would personally do myself as well, because I do think with Sunspot that fight is somewhat riskier. But Remus does have Mr. Negative, rank 4, in order to deal with that Rintra. And if anyone knows anything about Mr. Negative, then you know that he can absolutely melt down Rintra like nobody's business, especially with the class advantage, with that massive level 2 heal reversal from that willpower and all of those massive degens. The only thing you kind of need to be careful, obviously, is to keep an eye on Rintra's mythical charges. and not let him go unstoppable when you throw your level 2. That is kind of like the one risk factor, I would suppose. But Ghost against Mephisto is fairly straightforward as well. You want to face as many hits as possible, strike Mephisto as few times as possible, and the key is kind of like just nailing your level 2. But there is another error, and he does eat a combo from Mephisto. Now, he does recover it with perfectly executed level 2, but the damage is already done there because Ghost is at 72% health and Mephisto has his aura active and he has his buffs going on, and by that time we can see that Mr. Negative has already absolutely nuked down that Rintra, that one level 2, and basically, you know, a bit of an aggro play is all it takes. Mr. Negative is exceptionally fast when it comes to dealing with many of the mystic tank champions like Man-Things, Rintras, Dr. Dooms, and Sasquatches, and so on and so forth. And Bero is still in his fight with Mephisto. Now that that region has gone away, he can finally start dealing damage. Obviously, you still need to be careful when it comes to dealing with Aura, when it comes to dealing with Mystic Dispersion. But here at this point, I don't think that heavy was particularly needed either, but that level 2 that got landed is perfect to finish out the fight. However, Remus does take the win here quite convincingly and takes the lead. So Remus is up 1-0 against Beroman. So this was a quick and efficient match where he won both rounds 1 and 2. And let's see what Bero is prepared to answer here. So they're finishing off their final bits of draft as well. We can see that Beroman is picking up a Hulkling and a Hercules as well, both Cosmic Champions there. And Remus has the final pick in between Blade, Black Widow Deadly Origin, or the Hood. It is quite probable that he's going to end up going with the Hood there, because obviously Hood can counter Hulkling and Hercules exceptionally well with the class advantage and all the nullify abilities and everything else. So let's see how this match plays out. I'm going to see Beroman placing first here in round 1. He is going to drop his Hercules as the first defender, and let's see who is Remus setting up for Beroman to fight against. That can be a Nick Fury, it can be another Hercules, or it can be Rintra. And Hercules versus Hercules it is, so they are going to have a Herculoff. It's always easier when it's Nickov, because it sounds funny, but how would you do this? Herculoff, I suppose so. So, we have Silver Surfer or Beroman, and now Remus needs to make a decision. Is he going to go with Hood? Is he going to go with Rintra? Is he going to go with somebody else? And Hood it is. Okay, so he's taking up Hood. And let's see who is going to be faster. The Hood or Silver Surfer. Obviously, Silver Surfer does have the rank advantage here. By the looks of it, it is a rank 3 Hood going up against a rank 4 Silver Surfer. And yeah, let's see who is faster. So with Silver Surfer, he immediately goes for heavy attack in order to get that power gain energize buff. And obviously both players will have the benefit and the annoyance of Infuriate from Hercules to deal with. And let's see how it works out. So here, Beroman has opted to go for another heavy attack in order to gain armor up buff, because he had to kind of get it done that way in order to protect himself from Infuriate. Now he drops a perfectly timed level 1 with double Furies active, and he's pretty much fully ramped. Now it is just the race for Silver Surfer to go for his level 2s and basically see what happens. Let's see, there we have a Hercules at the bottom screen refusing to throw his level 2, which can be extremely frustrating. So he goes to drop his heavy attack, but Infuriate prevented the detonation, and that definitely is going to cost. That is exactly what I mean when I say Infuriate can be extremely frustrating thing to deal with here. However, let's see how we are going to finish up here. So we have Silver Surfer already nearly downed at Hercules, and the fight is there finished, and 69 seconds. And where do we have Silver Surfer is going to edge this out barely. This, however, was also a bit of an RNG win for sure, because Had that heavy attack detonation worked there for Remus, he would have been faster than Bero. But you know, that is one of the reasons why fights can go wrong against Hercules, because that infuriate reduces your offensive ability accuracy. And if you do not take that in consideration and you do decide to roll the dice and make a play whilst infuriate is active, then you can't really blame when the dice does not roll in your favor. So Beroman takes first round of this match, and now he's gonna have to deal with Rintra. Let's see who Bero is placing for Remus to fight, and that is going to be a Nick Fury, obviously likely the best defender he has remaining there. And Remus is gonna go use Sunspot in order to deal with that Nick Fury. At the moment, it looks like he's gonna use Sunspot. He's still thinking, and we have Human Torch against Rintra. Obviously, in this matchup, unless something goes horribly wrong, it is quite obvious which champion has the speed advantage, and that has to be Human Torch against the Mystic champion. Now, even though Rintra is obviously a very tanky boy, he does not have to help us, and it is Human Torch. Sunspot can be stupidly fast against Nick Fury, comparatively speaking, but I highly doubt that Sunspot, even with like a perfect fight, can outpace Human Torch against a Mystic, even a Mystic champion with such a high health pool as Rintra. Unless there are some mistakes made, I think here the betting favorite quite heavily is or has to be Beroman. And we can see that half a minute in the fight, Rintra is already at like 30-some%, whilst Nick Fury is still halfway in his first life model decoy. And now life model decoy gets destroyed, and it's go time, but Nick Fury seems to also be somewhat passive. And at that point, Rintra is pretty much dead. Yes. So it took 48 seconds for Human Torch to take down Rintra, and here Nick Fury definitely is not making things easy for Remus, and here he also does go for like a full combo in the block, chipping away from that health bar, and there Remus does finish off the fight, but significantly behind. So now the scales have been balanced. It's 1-1. Let's see, can Remus re-establish his lead, or this is going to be the time for Beroman to run ahead. Here are the last couple of picks that Remus has to make. As Black Cat, Blade, Scout with Sigil, CGR, and Black Widow Deadly Origins. So he picks Black Cat and Black Widow Deadly Origins. Let's see who is Beroman going to finish off his draft with. And he has very solid picks, obviously, in between Guardian, Nimrod, and Hercules. So he goes with Guardian. Guardian is one of those sleeper champions in Battlegrounds, in my opinion, because he can be exceptionally bothersome as a defender. But on top of that, he can also be very versatile as an attacker. Right, let's get to it. Now, Remus has to place first his defense this time around. So he does start with a Mephisto on defense, and Beroman starts with Dr. Doom on defense. We do have Tigra here for Dr. Doom and Tigra for Mephisto. Realistically, this is quite interesting, but I do think that Tigra against Dr. Doom, if you are well versed in that fight, if you have practiced that fight, should be easier and faster. But let's see how it goes against Mephisto. I don't think I have ever tried Tigra and Mephisto, or maybe a while back. Do not remember that fight exactly. But Tigra against Dr. Doom is a bit tricky fight where you do want to take some block damage and make sure that you push Dr. Doom to level 2. And once you do, then you can go in and drop your level 2s and start your rhythm. But again, it does involve taking some block damage. However, obviously against Mephisto, you often end up taking some incinerate damage. However, the fight there seems to be going exceptionally well for Beroman against Mephisto, and he finishes it off in like 40 seconds, 36 seconds. That was a very good fight there for Tigra against Mephisto. And let's see how this Dr. Doom fight ends up. 90% health against 91% health, but 36 seconds and 47 seconds. Both played exceptionally well, and the scores kind of reflect that. They are like, you know, just over 1,000 point difference, just under 1,200 point difference. So a very, very close match, but Beroman takes the dub here. Very probably important win here in order for the morale, as he's just making his comeback. And yeah, that was a very, very close one. Now Remus will have to deal with Havoc, and Beroman has to deal with Mojo. Now Mojo can always be one of those super annoying fights, so he does decide to go with Guardian, and let's see who Remus is going to use. He does have options here. He's probably weighing whether it is Hercules or Rintra. He ends up going with Hercules. However, from what I noticed, round 3 Remus might be in trouble because Beroman does have that Immortal Abomination. And I don't think there was anyone really there that could deal with that poison exceptionally well, should Beroman end up placing that Eye-Bomb on defense. So we'll see how that works out, but first we need to get to that. So we have here Herc against the Havoc, and Guardian against Mojo. Again, on paper, I guess I would favor Herc against Havoc if everything goes well. I don't think Havoc is exceptionally difficult defender to deal with, but let's see. However, Remus does make a mistake. In this match, I don't think you want to go for the 3 precision buffs active at all, because with Hercules you do want to avoid critting as much as possible against Havoc, and obviously precisions do not help with that, so he already took 1 plasma detonation damage. However, everything can basically go wrong against Mojo at virtually any minute. He does take 2nd plasma detonation though, and Havoc is down in under a minute, 51 seconds, but he did take 2 plasmas. Guardian nearly finishes off that Mojo, so very, very close to finish, but will he be able to clutch it out? So we have 46 seconds. He does get level 2. Yes, he does get a finish with a very, very perfect health. And again, here I think that Remus could have had this fight had he kept building his charges and went straight level 2, avoided throwing level 1 in order not to be critting as much, and then how better chance at dealing with Havoc's plasmas, because taking 2 of those plasma detonations is really what kind of caused the difference there. But still, let's move on. So round number 4 in between these guys. They're finishing off their draft. Beroman is picking up a thing, and who's it going to be? Ebony Maw or Bishop? Okay, fair enough. I do know that Bero always likes to draft his Ebony Maw. I personally end up fighting Bero often enough, and I hate fighting that Ebony Maw because it's that rank 4 Ebony Maw is, what's the best way to put it, sneakily tanky, comparatively speaking. But let's see how they are going to place their own defenses. So Beroman is starting, and he is placing Man-Thing on defense here for Remus to deal with. Obviously, Man-Thing is yet another one of the quote-unquote mystic tanks. And for that, he replies with Dr. Doom on defense. So Bero is going to have to find a counter for Dr. Doom. There are options based on his roster. Stealth Suit Spidey is definitely a solid counter as well. If you are confident with the fight, you can use Sunspot for that fight. But we have Kingpin against Man-Thing. So we'll see. This match, I believe, can go either way. Obviously, with Stealth Suit Spidey, you do have to be exceptionally careful against Dr. Doom, because that chip damage against Dr. Doom with a regular champion is already always noticeable and painful. And as we all know, Stealth Suit Spidey is not a regular champ. So I do think Stealth Suit Spidey can take this, but Bero has to play very clean in order to avoid as much chip damage as possible, because Kingpin can easily come out of this fight with 100% health or close to 100% health. So let's see. Let's see how this works out. So we have Stealth Suit Spidey here getting his Fury active, getting his Precision active, so he's like ready to start doing damage now proper. Bero does push Dr. Doom to level 2, which he immediately pretty much throws, which is perfect. Very well executed level 2 decks, which is something that virtually every Battlegrounds player is getting more and more familiar with. And Dr. Doom's health is absolutely melting at this point. Remus has decided to go... Oof! I just saw that in the upper left screen. That level 2 miss evade is going to cost immediately. One mistake, half of your health pool is gone, and all of the advantage in this fight. And it's exactly as I said, Stealth Spidey is faster, but due to the lost health, it does look like Remus is going to take this round unless he ends up eating like a level 3 or something, because there is a huge discrepancy in health. Man-Thing is nearly down. But yeah, exactly that happens. Man-Thing does get to level 3. So here it is good. It is exceptionally messed up finishes. So Bero lost half his health but finished much faster. But now at the very end, Remus ends up taking level 3. And he does have to finish out this fight, but he has taken significantly longer time than he should have. And yeah, he loses it by 300 points. He loses it by 300 points. It wasn't even... He could have even won after eating that level 3. Just a tiny bit less chip damage or just a tiny bit faster. Man, this was close, but Bero definitely gets the, lucky fairy dub on this one, because that was close. 300 point difference there, and that level 3 at the very, very end is quite literally what basically gave Bero the round there. So Bero is going to drop Nick Fury on defense here. He must be feeling quite well. He took the round 1. He's up 2-1. And if he wins here, then that's it. Bero advances to the next round. So we're going to see who is faster. Remus have to take on Rintra, and he's going to do that with Sunspot. And Bero has to take on Nick with Sunspot as well. So it's going to be interesting. Here, again, if everything goes perfectly, I would say that I favor Remus's matchup. Again, just because it is a single health bar. And I do think that you can do this fight faster and probably also slightly safer against Rintra than you do against Nick Fury. Because Nick Fury fights always involve, at the very least, slight levels of risk, and especially when you need to finish off the real Nick Fury after you destroy life model decoy, they often can involve also annoying levels of block damage. So both of them basically start out very similarly here, building up their solar flare state charges. Both of them are at 2 at this point. And here we can see that Remus activates another level 1 to go for 3 solar flares. Bero has to bait out a level 2 there from Nick. Here is a perfect heavy counter. Remus is doing a great job keeping Rintra down to 0 flare charges. But let's see who is going to be. Oh, deadly mistake there for Remus. Deadly mistake. He ends up taking some hits, and that cost him over 30% health. Now he's going to go for his big level 2. But here we can see that Fury's life model decoy also has been already destroyed. And it is going to be a close finish, but Beroman, by the looks of it, does have this round because of the health pools alone. That one mistake, I think, is pretty much what decided this, because the time is exceedingly close here. And yeah, Beroman goes up to 3 victories and he advances into top 8. Well played to Remus, definitely, without a doubt. Started with an early lead, but then Bero just made a comeback and basically went on a clean sweep after that. So now we know 3 players in our top 8, and we're going to be back soon enough with the remaining matches. So if you like these videos, do not forget to hit that like button, sub button, all the good buttons, and I will catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the